Good morning, good afternoon, depending on what time zone you are in, and thank you for joining today's webinar to learn about a critical topic facing B2B manufacturers of complex goods: overcoming the complexity in selling complex products when customers are increasingly demanding a digital buying experience. Today's webinar is brought to you by LiveArea and FPX. LiveArea is a strategy, design, and technology consultancy with extensive experience in developing and implementing digital transformation and omni-channel initiatives for manufacturers. FPX is a software firm that specializes in providing visionary configure price quote solutions for complex manufacturers, offering omni-channel experiences to their customers. My name is Adam Hatch, CMO of FPX. I'll be your host today. And like our experts today, I have a background in working in B2B e-commerce. In today's webinar, we'll cover digital customer experience trends impacting B2B manufacturers and how this is driving digital transformation for this sector. You'll also learn about the critical role configure price quote software plays in this. And at the end, we'll leave time for questions at the end of the presentation, but please do submit your questions in the chat window throughout as they come to mind. Our first speaker is Alex Simmons from LiveArea. Alex is a solution strategist with LiveArea with extensive experience in developing B2B strategies for manufacturers. Alex, I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thank you, Adam. Customer behavior is changing. Customers now have an expectation of an online shopping experience regardless of purchasing intent. We're seeing the lines blur between a consumer or business purchasing experience. Why can't they be the same? And why can't customers customize what they're wanting to buy easily? Many B2B businesses are plagued by lengthy sales processes, and thousands of product configuration offerings make customization of products difficult to implement in a commerce engine. The current best way to address this issue is to implement IT applications to provide a system that can guide the customer through the sales process, limiting erroneous configurations and providing all information to the customer upfront, including quotations and 3D imagery will give your customers the confidence to purchase online. By bridging this gap alone, you could see sales processes shorten by 13%. Think about when you're buying a car. The amount of options is endless. What color do I want? What stereo do I want? Petrol, diesel, hybrid. The possibilities are massive in this simple example. Imagine that with something that's got millions of parts. Making it simple for the user with a visual representation could massively increase sales. Commerce in general is in a time where targeted marketing and personalization of our customers' shopping experience is driving sales. Getting it right improves customer retention and could increase sales anywhere between 7 and 15% per visitor to your online store. However, personalizing the experience should not add complexity to the user's buying journey just because you're B2B. Expectations of a B2B customer are converging with those of a B2C nature. Why should the shopping experience be difficult and complex? Most of us have used Amazon, and we all know how easy and intuitive their service is. Amazon have seen a 10 to 30% increase in revenue since adopting personalization. Imagine a B2B experience that is just as easy to use and what impact that would have on your sales. As businesses strive to market their brands to each customer in a unique way, every customer's perception of that brand is different. This influences the products each and every customer wants to buy. Offering a personalized experience in a simple way can only benefit your customer's experience. Digital transformation can help many B2B businesses amalgamate their customers' experience. Yet, over 70% of businesses say that their customers still have higher expectations for B2B commerce. Customer-driven experiences are impacting the way your customers interact with your brands. Customers expect a consistent user experience regardless of channel. B2B organizations are looking to sell through self-service using commerce to further simplify the digital experience for each and every one of your customers. Think of it this way. Customers today interact with brands through a website using a mobile, tablet, or desktop. Sometimes they pick up the phone or send an email. Each and every one of these interactions should provide the customer with the same end result and a consistent experience with your brand. This means it is essential to have a simple and consistent customer experience that merges commerce channels and bridges the manufacturing complexity gap with the right technology solution. This problem will not just go away by simply implementing technology to support your commerce strategy. Your focus needs to be on the future and not what you're doing right now to remain ahead of the ever-evolving digital customer expectation curve. Getting these right cements the foundation for any digital transformation project for any B2B business. And with that, I'll pass you back to Adam to introduce the next part of this webinar.
Thank you, Alex. Our next speaker is Mark Bartlett, FPX's Chief Experience Officer. At FPX, Mark is responsible for defining the company's product vision. Mark is a frequent speaker at industry forums and has extensive career in developing strategies and technologies for B2B manufacturers, pursuing e-commerce and digital transformation strategies. Mark, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks so much, Adam, and thanks, Alex. We're here now to talk about what do we really mean when we say complexity inside of B2B manufacturing, and what are we talking about when we talk about this complexity gap? I think you've heard from Alex that the B2B customer journey is omni-channel. It's evolved beyond direct sales into a complex ecosystem of touch points. Your indirect channel, commerce self-service, portals, and beyond. And as Alex suggested, today's buyers, they expect so much more from their digital experiences. It's especially true as the digital natives start to enter the B2B workforce. But in B2B, this is often the experience that we deliver to our customers. A little bit of this, like this, and yep, even like this. So what if we could make this experience that our B2B buyers and sellers go through every day, what if we could make this experience as easy and delightful as this experience? Now, we can all argue that the B2B customer journey is way more complicated than choosing which show to watch on Netflix, right? The products, the solutions, the services that B2B manufacturers offer are intricate and extremely complicated. But shouldn't we try? What about all of those complex product services, solutions, and bundles? How can we bring them into these digital channels and start to deliver the experience that our customers have come to expect? FPX recently engaged in some research with Forrester, and the data that we uncovered in this research was astounding. When we surveyed leading B2B manufacturers, we found that they're driving about 30% of their revenue through their commerce and digital self-service channels. Now, that's largely due to the successes that they've had in rolling out the first generation of their e-commerce platform. But in standing up those solutions, they've digitized their product catalog, but that product catalog is really only delivering those high volume but low value widgets and replenishment parts. Those same organizations that we surveyed, well, they want to deliver more than 50% of their revenue through those commerce and self-service channels. That 20% between that current state of commerce capability and that desired state of driving more than 50% of their business through commerce and self-service, that 20% is due to complexity. Not only the complexity of the products and services that are offered, right? But also the complexity of the customer journey required in order to complete a purchase online. And finding a way to bridge this complexity gap to move towards that 50%, in doing so, we have to find a way to bring those higher value, high margin solutions and deliver these through the digital channel that our customers have come to expect. Bridging that complexity gap takes us to the next generation of enablement and digital transformation for B2B manufacturers. And that gap is an incredible opportunity. Forrester puts digital transformation and commerce in B2B as a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity worldwide, over $1 trillion in the next couple years in the US alone. So how can we get there? Well, the first thing that we've got to do is we have to extend the definition of commerce. Alex spoke of bringing that Amazon-like experience into the B2B realm. Well, selecting widgets, adding them to a shopping cart, checking out with credit card, and receiving a shipment, that's the B2C paradigm. But it's really a fraction and an edge case for B2B manufacturing, right? The B2B customer journey is much more complex, and the products and solutions that are offered are intricate and complicated. So we have to think beyond that product catalog or Amazon paradigm to embrace complexity in B2B. That complexity requires consultative collaboration and what we're calling solution co-creation. The collaboration between that end buyer who might have some notion of what they're trying to pull together, the solution that they're driving for, the outcome that they're driving towards, but they need consultative help with distribution, channel partners, and all the way back to the B2B manufacturer. The collaboration and interplay across all of those channels inside a digital medium is really the future of commerce for B2B. And for us at FPX, CPQ, or configure price quote technology, really helps to facilitate that new buying journey and deliver the customer experience that these end users have come to expect. So, in summary, the modern B2B customer journey, it's omni-channel. And the expectations that those end users have for their digital experience are rising each and every day. There's a statistic out there that in B2B alone, over 70% of B2B buyers and sellers are going to retire within the next 7 years. So finding a way to meet the expectations of the digital natives who are entering the B2B workforce, they're not going to leave their preconception and expectation at home when they come to their B2B role. We have to find a way to rise and meet those expectations. Enterprises face this complexity gap as they move forward in their digital transformation and commerce initiatives. We've had our successes in this first wave of commerce and digital transformation, But what we've done is digitize the stuff that was easy to digitize, the replenishment parts, the product catalog. What we have to focus for now in this next wave is digitizing the things that are harder to digitize, the collaborative, consultative experience that our end customers have come to expect. And to do that, we're going to have to extend the definition of commerce to succeed. That B2C paradigm of adding things to a shopping cart, well, that's just a starting point for the complex customer journey inside of B2B. We have to think about the end-to-end, not only on the consultative selling side, but how we serve the hierarchical buying, the approval, and the workflow on the buying side as well. So what systems, what techniques could we bring to bear to try to drive and meet these rising expectations? Well, what if there were a single system that could harmonize a lot of those complex features and functions across all of these touch points and channels? A system that could unify all of the diverse systems, the diverse data sources and channels across the entire ecosystem of buying and selling. And a technology solution that could automate processes with predictive analytics and machine learning to bring more efficiency and optimization into that customer journey. Doing all of these things well sets a solid foundation for starting to deliver that new seamless experience that Alex talked about, the experience that is going to meet and exceed these rising expectations. And at FPX, because of CPQ's ability to unify all of those diverse sources and create that single experience across channel, we feel that CPQ and configure price quote is perfectly positioned to act as a solution and platform to start to bridge that complexity gap and deliver the experience that our customers expect in today's modern omni-channel customer journey. And folks are starting to believe that too. In the same group that we surveyed with Forrester, when asked to identify some priorities in their digital transformation initiatives, along with predictive analytics, productivity tools, enterprises have understood that configure price quote is going to act as this bridge to help them close this complexity gap and take advantage of this incredible market opportunity that's right in front of us. It's not just a great product or a great set of technology that's going to help us achieve our goals. That technology and solution has to be in the service of an incredible, seamless, and cohesive experience to deliver that success. So thank you so very much, and I look forward to taking your questions here.
Thank you so much, Mark and Alex, for that. Those are great insights. And what I'd like to do now is, of course, open up the chat window. Please submit in the question and answer box, or the question box, any questions you have. And we've got one right now. This is for Alex. Alex, how does applying an IT application to guide a customer through the sales process make it less lengthy? In your statement, in your opening statement, you mentioned that B2B manufacturers are plagued by a lengthy sales process. What value does this add?
Well, the correct IT application for the products and services you sell can improve the accuracy of your product offering and recommendations to customers. So limiting the products that can be bought together through guided selling can alleviate the risk of a customer buying incompatible products, removing any customer uncertainty by doing this automatically, and the platform will reduce sales processes and life cycles, as well as potentially reducing load on back office staff, as less customer interaction is required to place an order.
That's very interesting, and I guess it's a great question for Mark as a follow-on to this. You know, Mark, digital transformation strategies, B2B manufacturers looking to develop digital customer journeys for their customers is a really complex undertaking. It's usually an initiative that that's at the board level. There's lots of change management that comes with it. There's lots of different technology investments to make. And there's also, you know, the question of, you know, what is the correct buying journey for our customers? So why CPQ? Why is CPQ one of the best places to start? Is there an ROI angle? Is there a benefit to CPQ that also you know, addresses other business processes in the organization that you can leverage that return?
No, absolutely, Adam. That's a great question. It really comes down to how do we facilitate and create that seamless experience across those different channels, indirect, direct, commerce, self-service, when faced with an extremely complex technology ecosystem inside these large enterprises as well. A mix of CRM or CRMs, a mix of ERPs across different business units and divisions. So in its innate ability to ingest data from complex sources, from material masters, pricing information, product catalog information, that's really the core of what CPQ has been designed to do. So in its ability to ingest information from all of those diverse sources, it can be a great place to start for enterprises who are looking to start down this path towards digital transformation. An ERP replatform or a CRM replatform is a massive undertaking. For those of you in the audience who have been through that process before, we know how complicated that can be. While those initiatives are going on, we can deploy the CPQ solution to act as that certain commercial definition to ingest and harmonize that data, bring together the rules, and start to create that experience in a digital solution that ties together direct, indirect commerce and self-service channels so that we can get to that ROI, get to that business value faster, while some of those more long lead digital transformation initiatives are happening in parallel.
That's very interesting, and I guess it also raises another question for Alex here. You know, why is it essential to have a simple and consistent user experience? You know, what is this achieved, and what's expected from getting it right?
That's a great question. Thank you. We feel that having a simple and consistent user experience changes the way customers see and view your brand. If the buying process is easy, they're more likely to come back. I saw some research earlier this year suggesting that customer experience will be more important than price as the main product differentiator by 2020. So working to improve your customer's user experience now is also preparing your business for the future. From the business point of view, it can reduce the time it takes for a customer to place an order, as well as reducing any manual intervention in the ordering process, because the experience, the sort of experience the customer is led through removes the need for potential questions or uncertainty.
So, and what that also brings up another point, Alex, which is that, you know, personalization is a term that's thrown around a lot, quite frankly. And I think it means different things to different people in different organizations. So from LiveArea's perspective, when you say personalization, what does that mean, especially in a B2B digital transformation initiative?
Well, it's really focused on the customer. So when we typically talk about personalization, we mean changing the experience that every customer receives based on past behavior, orders, promotional history, information that they give us, potentially even real time, depending on the type of personalization. So a personalized journey can really start with commerce, a commerce-connected marketing campaign that you drive through your marketing platform.
Interesting, and I think that one of the things that B2B companies and manufacturers in particular have such a radical opportunity to offer personalization, because right now it's just in our experience we don't see a lot of it, frankly. Mark, this is a question for you. So CPQ, or configure price quote solutions, have been around for a long time. There's a number of companies offering these solutions, and for the manufacturers in the audience, there's no doubt that these types of solutions they're familiar with. And typically they're used to power the quote to cash process. But what is the difference between a CPQ solution that is traditionally focused on solving the quote to cash problem, helping salespeople develop a quote, deliver it faster, get it approved, and get it into the customer's hands, versus a CPQ solution that's designed for powering a digital customer journey? What are those differences in your mind?
Well, it really comes down to the theme of the day, and if we're playing a bit of buzzword bingo here, it's about that customer experience. And the traditional CPQ solutions have really focused on that quote to cash or lead to money part of the process. They've been tightly coupled to the CRM solution and working inside of that direct sales enablement aspect of the business. As we start to look towards this omni-channel transformation in the customer's buying journey, a more modern approach to CPQ takes a more platform agnostic solution and can deliver that consistent experience across all of the touch points. Yes, CPQ is extremely powerful when creating efficiencies and powering that direct sales channel inside of or adjacent to CRM. But as we've seen, and as Alex and I have talked about today, extending that out into the realm of commerce and self-service, putting that information out where our new customers, our new buyers expect it in this digital realm, is what's going to lead the digital transformation of tomorrow. And making sure that we're having a consistency of data and information from that first touch in that digital self-service and commerce, and then all the way back to the engineer to order and direct sales supported solution. A CPQ platform that can ensure consistency across all of those channels and touch points is going to be the one that can deliver this omni-channel experience that tomorrow's customers are going to demand and expect.
So what that implies, I guess what you're saying, Mark, is that for manufacturers that say don't have a CPQ solution in place to power that traditional quote to cash process or that middle office process, but are also looking at how do we create a digital customer journey. One could say then, and I'm wondering if you agree with me on this, if you invest in a CPQ solution now, you'll achieve very quick ROI on just automating your quote to cash process. And that maybe ROI can help fund your digital transformation initiative or parts of it. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. That's a benefit that the organization or the enterprise would get by taking this CPQ first strategy that I talked about inside of digital transformation. In addition to delivering that benefit in empowering the direct channel and creating the efficiencies there, you also then extend that definition of commerce as I described and start to deliver that experience out to the the self-service and even indirect channel in the form of portals and putting the right information in front of your partners to enable them to better service their customers. So by taking the CPQ first strategy inside of digital transformation, we can achieve that tangible benefit that we find in quote to cash and direct sales enablement. But we can also take those steps towards digitizing more and more of that omni-channel customer journey. And that's why we advocate for that approach in digital transformation.
Well, with that, I wanted to thank both of our speakers, Alex and Mark. This has been a fascinating presentation. No doubt it is a very big topic for manufacturers of complex products to confront. And as you go about your journey, I would encourage the manufacturers to reach out to LiveArea and FPX because we're more than just products and consultancies, we're experts. And we can help you achieve your transformation goals and figure out where to start. Thanks everyone for joining us today, and have a great afternoon or morning, depending on what time zone you're in.